And we're back. So I need to pop over here again and take a look at what we're doing next. We finished Earth, and now we're going to add the astronaut layer. So this means I need to go back to the instructions because the instructions had some important stuff to say about saving the spaceman image. So, number 1, open the spaceman JPEG image and outline him with the pen tool. So let's do that. Spaceman, oh, there you are. Spaceman, down here. There he is. Outline him with the pen tool. Pen tool. I've lost my pen tool. Here it is. All right. So I want to get in fairly close and outline my spaceman. Back to the instructions. From your pen tool path, make a layer mask, not a vector mask, masking out the background, non-destructive editing. So I'm going to click on paths. I need to rename my path so I don't lose it. We'll call it Spaceman. Then I'm going to make a live selection by holding down the command key and clicking on the icon. Now I have a live selection, marching ants. And I'm going to come over to this layer, select it, and then I'm going to hit the add a mask layer, and that's done. Let's move back to the instructions. Save as this file as a working PSD file inside a folder named Art Working. Name the file Spaceman Masked. Okay, so I'm going to File, Save As. Inside my folder, I'm going to make a new folder, I'm going to call it Art Working, Art dash. Inside Art Working folder, I'm going to save spaceman-mask.psd. I'm going to turn off Maximize Compatibility. And then I'm going to go back to the instructions. And before you close the Spaceman Masked file, in the layer window, click and drag the gray part of the Spaceman layer and drop it into your Space Poster build. This will move the Spaceman and his layer mask. So from here, I'm going to click and drag from the gray area up to my Space Poster, drag it down into the canvas, and let it go. So our Spaceman has been moved over here. Next, I'm going to make it into a Smart Object, right-clicking it, convert to Smart Object. I'm going to rename this layer Astronaut. Now I need to match this. So he's flipped over, I noticed. So I'm going to transform him, right-click, say flip horizontally, scale him down a little bit, maybe up a little bit. Let's throw him right there for now. Say return and check our size a little bit smaller. Whoops, I have my pen tool selected. Maybe my move tool would work better for this. And there we go. Not too bad. I'll let you worry about getting him in exactly the right place. Okay, so there's Astronaut. And now I'm going to come back over to my sample. So Astronaut has a color correction. If I double click on it, it'll open up my properties dialog box. It says it's an exposure correction and it's set for -0.62. I'm going to come over here and add an exposure and change that to minus 0.62 tab. And then I don't want it to cover the whole background. I only want it to clipping mask to the astronaut. So I can right click on this and say create a clipping mask. Or in my properties dialog box, I have this button that does the same thing. So while that layer is selected, I can click on that to make it a clipping mask. And now it only affects the brightness of my astronaut. Okay, let's go back over to our sample, close that all up. Oh, this gets a folder called astronaut now. So back over here, these two pieces, I'm shift selecting, hitting the folder, renaming astronaut, and then I'm going to save. Back over here, and let's turn on the planet layer. The planet's fun to make, so let's make it real quick. Planet is just if I double click here, you'll see that planet is just a flat texture with a circle outlined on it. So we'll make that, make it into a smart object, and then we'll place it in here, and then we'll add that same shadow on it that we made for the Earth, and there's a color correction to make it darker and yellower. So I'm going to run back over here. I'm going to file open. There's one in the art source called planet texture. I will open that. Command A to select all, Command C to copy, Command W to dismiss the window, Command V to paste, and then I'm just going to grab my circular marquee tool, start about right here in the corner, drag, hold down Shift to keep the planet round, and when I get about that close to the edge, I'm going to let go, add a mask to my layer, right click and turn it into a smart object, double click the name and call it planet. While it's still big like this, I'm going to go ahead and add my shadow to it. So I'm going to add a new layer. I'm going to make the marquee about the same size as the planet, holding down Shift. I'm going to fill, edit fill with black. I am going to deselect, Command D. I'm going to use my move tool to move my shadow around. I want a clipping mask it to the planet so it stays on the planet. I'm going to change the opacity down, and I'll have to see what that is supposed to be on the shadow. 66% and multiply. So back over here, 66% and multiply. Then I want the edge to be soft, so it's filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and Gaussian blur it to taste. Alright, so there's my planet. The other thing I have is a color correction that's on the planet itself. So I'm going to come back over here and see what this is. Here it is. If I double click on it, it'll tell me what it is. It is a hue saturation. It's set for a 38, 32, and a minus 46, and it's also turned on colorize. So let's try to do this. 38, 32, minus 46, and colorized. So above the planet is where I want that correction layer to be, adjustment layer. Hue and saturation, 36. Oh, let's turn on colorized. 36, something or other, and minus something else. There, that looks pretty close. Now I can take all of these, shift click them, put them into my folder, double click it, call it planet, and then I can transform it. I'm not making it into a smart object. This is already a smart object, and this is already a soft layer, so I'm not worried about it, although I should rename this now. And then I'm going to select that and transform the whole thing. Sorry. Get them all up in there, make them teeny. It's a small planet. There we go. And then I'll check to see how it worked out. Oh man, I hit that right on the nose. Okay, I'm going to save, and I'll be back.